That it isn't. Oh, man.
Victory!
I feel better than ever.
Wow, that's a lot of levels. I'm not going to worry about crits right now. Let's see, wands. Okay, MP recovery after battle is actually kind of useful. I mean, they probably didn't make the decisions lately. They don't seem careless, exactly.
Did you to be so grumpy? Now, hold nice and still while I tie you up. The battle is won! The Slayer of the Sands is bested! All in a day's work for the Prince of Gallopolis!
Yeah,
You saw me,
even
man.
with my small projects, there's times I'm like, oh wow, there's... To do it this way, I have to rewrite everything I just did.
Yes, Your Highness.
It's not uncommon.
Of course, Your Highness.
I think it's just important to remember that all abstractions are leaky, and that's just something we can't do anything about. But then, some decisions I do wonder about.
I still have not forgotten what I promised.
A friend of mine way back, he took apart the Azarius BitTorrent downloader, and at some point he just gave up. He's like, I have found literally 3 different classes for handling chunks. I can't even begin to understand how this nonsense is organized. I believe he now works at Microsoft, so God knows what kind of bad code he deals with now.
I'm not suggesting anything, darling. You do what you need to do.
Does this prince realize how easily he can be blackmailed?
This feels all kinds of wrong. You're right, Sylvander. Nothing's going to change if he keeps on pretending.
Oh, I think the poor boy knows that well enough. All he needs is a little push. Anyway, I'd better be getting along. I'm sure...
I occasionally get kind of a twitch in my hand. Yeah, you're going to try to apply for Crow Team? Hey, what's to lose, really? I mean, that's been my attitude to some of the jobs I've applied for. This records handling one is literally almost $20 an hour, and it's working somewhere I would not want to work for. But I'm like, you know, with that kind of money, I'll do it. Not that I'm a shameless whore, but I am a shameless whore. And the worst that can happen is they reject me, and I just keep praying for unemployment to kick in. So, figure it's worth a shot. Okay, let's break camp. Seems pretty reasonable to me. Learning the, what do they even speak there, language-wise? Other than C++, I mean. Oh, okay. Figure it makes sense to ask, because after all, in Brazil they speak Portuguese. Well, that's good. I actually took a Russian class in high school, which is kind of interesting. Oh, Enchantress gloves. Well, as long as I can make them. The nice thing about Russian is every letter is pronounced the same way every time. So it was, we had a sing-along on the bus in language I didn't understand. But it was pretty easy to keep up because it was very easy to read along. Not that I had any clue what the songs were about. Excellent. Of course, that's like 20 years ago. I don't remember a single word of... Could be. Although the USSR had just fallen. So that might not be the case. It was kind of interesting. It was a distance learning class. There was like one guy in a neighboring town who... Maybe I am, who knows. But there was basically one guy in a neighboring town who taught it. So he taught the class, and it was all distance learning. We had closed circuit between us and like 4 other schools. And early in the semester, they decided, hey, we're going to do a thing where all of our classes go out on a little day trip thing. So we went to this waterfall somewhere, and it was all well and good. But you had a fair number of students in each class who were exchange students out of either the former Soviet Union or Soviet states. So it was kind of interesting because because they spoke English a lot better than any of us spoke Russian. That was just kind of a given. But it's funny what doesn't translate well. Like, one guy was telling someone, it's like a kid's joke here, and it's like, how do you find the cemetery? And it's always the dead center of town. Makes sense if you speak English, because there's an idiom in there. But, I mean, it really does have to be explained. Oh, bugger. I fucked this up. There we go. That might do it. But yeah, it was an interesting experience. And of course, I mean, 20 years on, I remember literally one word. And that's just because a friend of mine knew it. Okay, none of this actually seems... Oh, hello. 20 years. Wow, it's good for both their defense. And bronze armor. Okay. So those are good crafting materials. Let's see. Okay, let's get rid of the skill armor. Oh, I didn't upgrade anything for her. Oh, wait a minute. Alright. Let's move along. So I could just zoom back. Oh. Let's smash up some crabs. Well, I could just cast Zoom to go back to Gallopolis. I do kind of want to take out a couple of critters and see if I can find, see if we can find any resources or chests just lying around. Let's sizzle a bunch of them. What is this? Oh dear. So I haven't seen the movie yet. But I assume it's, embarrassing.
No one bites the
That good, huh? I don't fucking know, man. Actually, I do know. It's a lot of it's YouTube and Fox News. That's where I place a lot of the blame. I mean, I had a lot of misinformation on things for a long time, and I believed a lot of stupid shit, but I didn't take that level of... I didn't put in that level of effort to being stupid, thankfully. I really had some... See, now I'm thinking about what a dumbass I've been in the past. Like, I did have some stupid gatekeepy opinions on things, and... Ugh. I think everyone's just embarrassed by their previous selves. Okay, let's bang it. Yeah, to be so enraged that there are women playing prominent roles in movies tells you a lot about the person complaining, I suppose. But man, like how do people live like that? They just made my whole party hallucinate? Oh, this is not good. Well, let's sizzle some crabs. Yeah. One of the reasons I'll never run for office is there does exist a tape of me being embarrassingly stupid. So, and my friend says he lost it, but I have a strange feeling if I ran for office it would resurface and I'd have to explain it. But I mean, that was...
Easy peasy.
God, I was like a freshman in high school when we taped that. Well, yeah. Like, the various places I've lived, it pretty much comes down to 3 cities. They've all been overwhelmingly white. And one actually didn't live there long, but it did have a branch of the KKK active in it. So the entire concept of non-white people was kind of alien to me for a long time, and I consequently probably said some really dumb, backwards shit. And I had some friends who said a lot of dumb, backwards shit too. Yeah, but you're fun, so that's a plus. You're not like some of those really disturbing Twitters that are all, you know, from the depths of the manosphere or whatever the fuck they call it now. Yeah, I don't think my baggage when it comes to running for office quite compares. Totally understand. I just want to have a better word for that particular mindset of idiots and their group thereof. Boy, that's a heck of a pit. Like, how does a sandfall even work? I mean, you gotta run out of sand eventually. Oh, cool, you can see the circus tent. Amen to that. The thing I see, and this is great. I saw some asshole trying to make some joke about Mother's Day and the left doesn't know what women are, that sort of thing. And somebody just called them out and was like, here it is, conservative comedy. You literally only tell one joke. And then they respond with essentially the same joke. It's like, you just fucking told it again. It's like, tell one joke, and when your audience calls you out for being a piece of shit, verbally abuse the audience for a while. I don't know those first two, but I certainly know about that third one. He is an egregious little moron. Yeah, I'm not exactly in shape, but I could just pound him out of sheer rage. Oh, classy.
Repeat after me now. A knight's word? A knight's word is his bond. His king
Ew.
and his master.
And naturally, he has a following among the right.
Don't stop. He serves the weak untiringly. Challenges the strong.
I mean, I can't even feign surprise at this point.
Now, my little Principal, do you want to be remembered as a miserable coward or a hero who died fighting to the end?
I mean, nothing surprises me with those douchebags. I mean, the reality is that their entire ideology is so vacuous at this point that there's not even anything to argue with them about. Exactly. Well, I mean, these people in their quote-unquote ideological purity would throw Reagan out as a filthy liberal at this point. Which tells you everything, really.
Wonderful. Amazing what you can do when you put your mouth.
There was somebody did a YouTube video on these guys. I mean, he's done a whole series of them, I guess, but there's one that called just "The Card Says Moops," and it summarizes their position when it comes to quote-unquote debate perfectly. It's like 10 minutes long, but it ultimately shows they don't have an idea to advance and they can't defend it, but they'll keep fighting just because they want to quote-unquote win, or Lord Barry bullshit. God damn it. That is, boy, does that summarize it so well.
Don't be ridiculous, darling.
Yeah, they're not really interested in winning anything on its merits, and it's not going to be any kind of honest debate. But he summarizes their tactics very well, and I strongly recommend it. I mean, I think there's a healthy debate to be had about how much intervention the government has in things, but we've gone from. We have one side who doesn't really represent anything anymore. It's just straight up.
Varys, look at me. It is I who must apologize.
They just have to fill their void with nonsense and hate,
And
basically.
since you have learned something too. Despite your Sir Hendrik will be happy to take one such as herself under his wing, I am sure.
Also, this dude needs to put on a shirt.
Chasing us?
Yeah, I can understand that.
But I am forgetting our guests. is a royal treasure, of course. But surely you agree that they have done more than enough to deserve.
Look at me. I am the void now.
But my boy, I sold the rainbow to a traveling merchant.
What? What would compel you to sell one of our most precious treasures?
Are you blind, boy? Did you not notice the grandeur with which we celebrated this year's Sand National? We made a sacrifice for your sake.
Watch out for void crabs.
Father,
Forgive me. All I can tell you is that the merchant to whom I sold the rainbow headed west towards Gondolia. This letter will grant you passage through the checkpoint. That
Why does nobody hold objects?
someone can tell you
This is so weird. It's just a weird thing in this engine.
1,000 pardons. It is scant consolation, I am sure. But please, take this. Its value cannot... It allows one to provoke distant foes into...
Oh, the crossbow. This is handy, yeah.
You have
But yeah, I think where I stand politically is
and as for
Chuck
me,
Tankle should run for president in 2020. Yeah, I mean, he's not like flailing around or anything, and he's holding that staff. Why can't he hold the letter? Yeah, or just do something. Even a cut where they show you the letter and then maybe have the main character putting something in his jacket. You don't even have to see it. You can edit around it and at least make it look like something is being done. You know, video for how video games approach being movies, they could at least learn a little bit about the magic of editing. But maybe that's just me being weird and caring about entirely the wrong thing. Like, for example, I don't think you can pet this cat, and that's just unacceptable. Like, it's funny, one of the first an example of editing in movies being used for trickery that I always appreciated, from of all places, it was Kevin Smith's Clerks back from like '91, and it there's one scene in there where you really see how you can create a fairly simple illusion without really having to do a whole lot. And what it is there's a scene where the character Randall is reading off an order to the video store, or the distribution house, I should say. And he lists a bunch of increasingly obscene porn titles. You know, he starts with like, oh, what was it? Whispers in the Wind, My Pipes Need Cleaning, Put It Where It Doesn't Belong, and it keeps getting more and more obscene as he goes. And the whole time he's doing it,